You know, you got to surely have it figured out. And we're like, no, we surely don't. And we can tell you a lot of things not to do, but as far as really sharing, you know, the 7 highly effective, you know, habits of, you know, well-married people, or the love languages, or the whatever. There are plenty of those books, and they're great. Yeah. And we flunk at pretty much every one of them. When we read them, we're like, well, screwed that up. Well, blew that. So it's like, we don't have any business writing a book about that until we realized, well, we are still here. And that's been the grace of God. And we could share that.
This season of In the Middle of It is brought to you in part by Trendy Bear Apparel. Trendy Bear Apparel is a local Nashville clothing company that sells the coziest sweatshirts, crew necks, t-shirts, and more. If you're watching on video, you can see me modeling my very own Trendy Bear crew neck sweatshirt. Every Trendy Bear item is hand screened by Papa Bear himself, so you can be sure that your order is made with love. And the best part is, I have a discount code for you, okay? You can use In the Middle 20 for 20% off your order. That's In the Middle 20 for 20% off your order. So go to trendybear.com and use the code In the Middle 20 for 20% off your order. Hey friends, welcome back to In the Middle of It. I'm your host, Hannah Kerr. I am so excited about this episode today. I can't even tell you. This is the episode that wins me the most brownie points with every member of my family, including my parents, okay? Today's podcast guests are Stephen Curtis and Mary Beth Chapman. Stephen Curtis Chapman is the most awarded Christian artist of all time with 60 GMA Dove Awards, 50 #1 songs. He's had 10 gold and platinum albums, and he's a member of the Grand Ole Opry. He's amazing, okay? And then Mary Beth Chapman is a New York Times bestselling author. She's the co-founder and the chairman of the board for the incredible adoption nonprofit called Show Hope. It's helped over 10,000 kids come home to a loving family. And together, they have been married for over 40 years. They have all the kids and grandkids, and they have written a book called Still Here. It's so incredible. We are going to hear all about it today. So please welcome to the podcast, the Chapmans. Oh, thank you guys so much for doing this. I am so grateful. Like, your family's story, your music has been so intertwined in my whole life growing up, like truly. My parents' wedding song was I Will Be Here. Like the first song I sang with my brothers was Dive in It, or like just, it's just crazy. Like the amount of songs of yours that have just carried me through like my whole childhood and my whole life. And so I'm just so grateful to have you here. And this is going to be really cool. I'm so excited to talk about your book too. I have just torn through it over the past couple of days and been so just refreshed and inspired. And I've been married for 6 years, and I'm like, man, there's so many years to come. And I feel like this is a great blueprint to just like carry with us as we go. So
thank you.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I'm just glad you're here. So we're going to start off the podcast with a little game. Are you up for a game? Okay,
yes.
It's very quick. The podcast is called In the Middle of It. So this game is called Love It, Hate It, In the Middle of It. I'm going to read you 5 things. They're somewhat random. You tell me if you love the thing, hate the thing, or feel in the middle of the thing. Okay. Number 1, Red Lobster.
Love it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
You like the cheddar biscuits?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That is...
That's a recipe for love.
You know, that's our,
right.
You know, that was our first date.
That wasn't random.
Yes, that wasn't random. Wait a second. Somebody's on to us.
So your first date was at Red Lobster.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is crazy. What a place for love.
I know.
Yeah.
What a great
Popcorn
restaurant
shrimp.
that is.
That's right.
Yeah. What did you get? Do you remember?
Popcorn shrimp and cheddar biscuits.
Shrimp and cheddar
As
biscuits.
you should.
I know.
That's
That's
just
it.
the classics.
Recipe
Okay.
for love.
Number 2, college football.
Love it.
Mary Beth is like, yes, roll tide.
Yes,
Mary
roll
Beth
tide.
is double love it.
Love it.
And I love it as well.
Yeah.
I have learned to love it.
He's a love it minus.
Yeah, I do. I like it very strongly. There's no part of it I dislike.
I like it a lot.
It's just not that I don't. When compared to my wife, who
Yes.
has borderline of probably obsession
That's
love,
amazing.
that I would say love it especially when our daughter is cheering on the sidelines. But
That's right.
That's so
That's right,
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, I love it. Did you grow up loving college football, or where did the love come from?
Yeah. Well, I grew up just in a family that watched a lot of sports. So,
Okay.
yeah, never had anybody, playing college football or anything like that. I'm much more of a college football fan than I am professional football, but I like
Okay.
professional football too. But yeah, just grew up in Ohio. So my
Yep.
family they were huge Ohio State fans. But we're Alabama through and through now.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so cool. I heard you hoped that your sons played football, but they went music instead.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
They did. Any sport.
Unfortunately,
would have,
they had my DNA too, so they were working with a massive
There's room for everybody in this world,
Deficit.
okay?
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, number 3 is long road trips.
Yeah, pause. Let's see, because
depends on
we've had a
where-
lifetime of long road trips. So I feel like being on tour. So
Yes.
long road trips.
I love long
Us
road
together.
trips. Just being,
Yes.
if
Love that.
especially if we don't know exactly where we're going or if it's vacation or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, I love back roads. Love long road trips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I read about one in your book
Yes,
where
the
you
400-mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that was attached to garage sales and vintage, thrifting, which I could
Yes.
do
Yeah.
that a lot. I love that.
I
But
love
yes,
it. That's
yeah.
awesome. Okay, number 4, horses. Love it, hate it, in the middle of it.
I'm in the middle, but I know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, I know. I wrote the song about saddling up your
I
horses.
know. That's why
we've got
I
a trail to blaze, and I
you
know
up there
I rode a
blazing
horse.
trails?
I know I rode a horse in the video, and that horse and I did not bond well
Oh,
at all.
no.
But
Well-
somehow I survived the day without falling off. At the end of the day, we'll put it this way: the what do they call them, paramedics that were there on site the whole day, because
Yes, you
it
did.
was the Great Adventure video. We were in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it was like, okay, get on this horse, and then when we say action, you're going to go run as fast as that horse wants to go across that field.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I've never done this before, and
How do I
I just
look
write
natural?
songs about it. And it was by the end of that day, the paramedics all kind of gathered around and said, well, we've never seen anybody who should have fallen off a horse more and somehow managed to stay on. So you get a little smiley face for that. But
Well,
other than that,
that's amazing.
I
it was
don't know
not-
if you remember that video or remember watching it at all.
of
There's
course.
pieces of it in like slow motion with
Yeah.
the epic
Yeah.
him riding in slow motion.
Yeah.
But those horses literally had been brought in from winter pasture, so they hadn't been ridden in a long time. So they
Wow.
were a little bit wild to begin with.
They
or
weren't super
They
excited
weren't
about
super
having
excited
me
about
on
having
their
someone.
back. Yeah.
And actually,
wasn't
we
super
know all
excited
the
about
parts in the slow motion video
Yeah.
where he's actually, because it looks like he's just big and bad
Yeah.
and screaming yeehaw or whatever.
John
but he's
Wayne moment.
he's actually yelling the name of Charlie.
Nancy!
He's going, yeah,
Charlie!
Charlie,
Yeah.
get me off
Get
this
me off
horse.
this crazy
it
thing.
looks great.
It
but
looks
he's
awesome.
screaming.
Natural as
He
can
is
be.
screaming for his life.
Oh, that is so
Yes.
funny. Wow.
Yes. So
You spent your whole career singing Saddle Up.
I
those
know.
horses.
It's so funny. It is like so funny that out of all of those, it's like, okay, well, that's it,
Yeah.
but it just didn't, it really, it's one of those that, like, I talk about the song Dive, and, that came from a great sermon that Scotty Smith, our pastor, was preaching about this incredible experience he had of fishing and how you had to get in this really deep, kind of scary water to get into the action. And he drew that parallel to God is inviting us into sometimes unsure footing. We've got to be willing to go where he takes us.
Yeah.
Or we can sit on the bank and just kind of watch it happen. And I was like, man, I was so inspired. And I walked out of there and I was like, I'm fishing. I'm going fishing. That just does not sound like the song that's going to inspire people to want to just, let's go, And so it became Dive, and that was the song Dive.
Yep.
So I think Great Adventure was probably similar. It was sort of like, man, I'm going to write, I want to just, let's go. God is inviting us on this wild adventure. And that was actually out of a very difficult time and season with that I wrote that song. And, but people have since over the years thought, man, did you just grow up loving horses, or where'd that come from? I'm like, no,
You're like,
not
I'm-
so much, but man, I'm John Wayne in my mind.
That's right. You're like, I'm sorry to the horse community. I'm not part of you, but I
yes.
respect you.
Yes, but I
That's
respect
right.
you so much.
Amazing. Oh, man. I love it. Okay, last one is the Grand Ole Opry. Love it, hate it, in the middle of it.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. Yeah, love.
Because you're a member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes.
That is so cool. It's
Yeah.
so awesome. I loved
Thank
that
you.
part of the book when you were talking about being totally surprised by the one and only Ricky Skaggs.
Yes, I
Like,
know.
what-
Yeah,
what
I know.
a crazy
What
moment.
Crazy.
world? What
Just
life
crazy.
are we living? You know,
Just
I think we told a story
craziness.
in the book about when we first met Ricky and Sharon at
Yeah.
the Grammys and
Yep.
how
And you had
crazy that
breakfast
was, and we had
you
breakfast.
saw Michael
and
McDonald.
Michael McDonald, he's like making faces at him, and I'm going, you know him? He's like the coolest guy on the planet. And then Ricky Skaggs is introducing us to Michael McDonald and all of that. It's like,
So
okay,
crazy.
mind blown.
Yeah.
So then to think all these years later, he would be the one that would basically invite me to be
Yeah.
a member of the Grand Ole Opry and totally surprise me, as we tell in the book, that, she almost didn't even come that night because I've gotten into a, kind of a routine of playing the Opry, which even to say those words is crazy.
Mhm.
Growing up such a
So
fan
grateful.
as I was and still am. So yeah, it's
So cool.
it was an amazing night. Has continued to be an amazing chapter in our story for
Yeah.
sure.
I loved in that chapter of the book, he said, this is like the most amazing moment and like mountaintop. There's so many amazing things about it, but the sweetest thing was looking at each other and just knowing that you were there in that moment together.
Yeah.
Like that's what really made it so special, was not even like this amazing mountaintop moment, but that you were there together.
Yeah.
I literally teared up, and I could tear up now just
Oh,
thinking
wow.
about how sweet that is, and like what a
Oh.
testimony that if you weren't still married, you wouldn't have that moment
Yeah.
together. And I'm just,
Yeah.
that's
And as
such-
you're saying that, it takes me back to, he started all of this crazy stuff playing at Opryland
Yeah.
USA, the theme park. And so early in our marriage, you were still doing a couple years out there
Oh, yeah.
while we were
Still
eating
doing my George
hamburger
Jones
helper,
impression.
trying to make it through the next day.
Yeah.
And I can just remember being big and pregnant with Emily,
Wow.
laying on the back row at Country Music USA show,
Yeah.
just saying every word right along with them.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Just
Trains have held a fascination. You probably still say it.
Trains held a
Trains have fascination for songwriters
So
for
yes,
years.
fast forward,
All the little
for
dialogue.
almost 42 years
Yeah.
standing, going, what is this life? This is just crazy that
Wow.
we would, be here together to experience such
Yeah.
a blessing and
That's so
amazing
cool.
thing.
And she
Yeah.
was, I think I say this in the book, but one of the things that made the Opry so sweet is that she was such a champion. Mary Beth really wanted that for me,
Mhm.
maybe as much, if not more, than I would have. In fact, I guess she dreamed it more as a reality. I always thought, well, I'm not a country music artist as
Yeah.
much as I love it. And I started, arguably my career in many ways
Yeah.
got started at Opryland, and I did sing on the Grand Ole Opry stage when I was 18. So it was a full circle moment,
Mhm.
but I was like, I'm not, they're never going to induct probably a Christian music artist
Yeah.
into the Opry. But she just was like, but that's where you started, and it's in you, and you love
Yeah.
It's his
bluegrass
family. It's
and
where
God, all of
yeah,
that
where
together.
it all started.
So she was, she was she campaigned for that, I think, on my behalf with managers and all, like, you need
So
to,
cool.
you should see if you could make this happen for him. And so it was such a sweet moment and
love
a
it.
special night, and has continued to be a really sweet season of
Yeah.
life for me. And just to, even the doors that God has opened, that of people that I feel like I've had the opportunity to be involved in their lives and minister to. I was on the phone with Chris Jansen, who's an Opry member and a friend, and this afternoon, and just, talking about what, how God has kind of used our relationship, and that
Yeah.
has kind of been a part of that, which has just been really
So
amazing. And I
cool.
never
Yeah.
would have imagined that.
As you
Wow.
might imagine, Steve loves to chat, and he loves to just he's very loquacious.
Yes. I love
that
it.
word. Anyways, I like, now you can be like the pastor of the Opry, just go from room to room and just chat with people
Yeah,
and pray with people,
pray with
and
them.
it's
I
been
love
really,
It has
really
happened
sweet.
that way.
The
sweet.
pastor
Next
of the
kind
Grand Ole Opry.
Oh,
pastor
yeah.
of the Grand Ole
Yeah.
Opry. Oh,
Oh, that's so cool. You got your name on a plaque on the wall. Like,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
craziness.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
so
craziness.
I love it. Well, I want to talk about your new book, Still Here. I guess it came out in March 2026. It just is so good. It's such a beautiful picture of marriage. And I think in the first chapter or whatever, one of you says, we almost didn't write this book because we thought maybe it would be disappointing for people to hear that our marriage has not been perfect, that we've had hard seasons. But man, it is the opposite. It is so refreshing. I feel like it's so easy when you have a book deal or whatever to write a book about how you figured it all out and here's the 5 steps to a perfect marriage. And it's not that. It's just a collection of stories of your life together. And it's the perfect book to talk about on this podcast, because that's what this podcast is all about being in the middle of life, about figuring it out, not knowing how it's going to turn out, but just trusting God and just living in his grace. So I'm so excited to talk about this book. There's so much goodness. I have so many points. I'm like, we could talk about bearing with one another in love, sanctification, being right. Like there's so many ways to go. But first I want to ask, just from like a logistics standpoint, how did you write the book together? Did you talk it out to someone and they recorded it? Did you write a chapter each? Like how did it work writing this together?
Well, out of the gate, we were like, hey, so if we're going to write this book together, we need to not end up divorced when it's over
Yes.
with. That would be goal.
that would be
That's
bad.
goal number
That
one.
would be bad.
We need to stay married through the process, because we knew we could not write the book on what to do, but we could certainly write the book on what not to do,
Yeah.
and the goodness of the Lord and all of it, and raising kids and being very young when we got married, all of the things. But
Yeah.
we had an amazing person that worked with us, Lawrence Kimbrough. He did a lot of interviewing with us, and then I would take it and write, and then he
Yeah.
would take it and write, and we would kind of come back together. And so
Yeah.
it was kind of a back and forth kind of thing, because we would do a lot of it together, and then he'd be on the road, so then he would be doing a lot of the fine tuning and all the things. And
Yeah.
I would be the one going, that's not how it happened. No.
Yeah, of course.
The fact checker.
I'm the fact
Little
checker.
checker
Yes.
over there.
I love it because it's so conversational. Like I feel like I can just hear you saying it even without knowing you. I just was like, man, I can just hear you saying like, okay, well, that's our last Disney reference, or like, okay, and I hope that didn't come off weird. Like I loved it. It was just so conversational, so
Thank
easy to
you.
read.
Thank
Thank you.
I'll be gifting it to everyone I know for Christmas, New
Aw,
Year's, all the
Oh,
things.
That's
that's
so sweet.
Thank
So
you.
sweet.
I
Yeah.
told my parents actually, I was like, this is the perfect book they're going to be married 40 years next year. I was
they're
like,
right behind us.
You
Yeah.
need to read this for your 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And I Will Be Here was their wedding song, and it's
Oh, are you
framed in
serious?
their room, the
Yeah.
lyrics and all the things. So I was like, this is the perfect book for you guys.
That's amazing.
But your marriage has been such a journey. It's been all of the things. It's
Yeah.
been amazing and hard, and you guys are so different. Like just reading about your differences, something that was really interesting to me was I'd never thought about this, that sometimes the thing that attracts you to each other is your differences, because
Yeah.
you're like, man, I see that in that person and I don't have
Yeah.
that, and I like that
really,
about
yeah,
them.
you really like it.
But then as you're married, that same thing that attracted you to that person is the thing that bothers you
Yeah.
because it is different than you. Can you talk about just navigating differences in marriage and what that has looked like for you guys?
yes. It's
We're still,
been
yeah. Isn't that interesting though? Yeah,
tricky.
the very
It's been
those
tricky.
very
It's
things
been
that
Yeah.
tricky.
that
Yeah.
really, woo you in and cause you to fall in love with the person, all
Yeah.
the things. It's like, I just really enjoy that you're so, just artistic and whimsical and
Yeah.
poetic. And, I'm like, by the book and just need a plan and,
Mhm.
all the things. And then those are the very things that you're married for a little while. And it's like, okay, why are you not like me now?
Yeah.
I need you.
Haven't I rubbed off enough, please?
I need you to love the calendar.
Yeah.
I need you to, I need you to, and so it's been a challenge. It's still a challenge. It's not a surprise to anybody listening that knows us. Knows if you know Steve and Mary Beth, you know that it's continued to be a challenge of how to, how to work it out. But as corny as it sounds, being married almost 42 years now, as we've just really relied on the Lord and worked individually at drawing closer to Him. It's kind of that triangle. We kind of grow closer to each other.
Yep.
And there is a lot that I've had to learn to just let go. There's certainly much that He's had to kind of let go in his camp on, if she would just, if she could just see it this way,
Yeah.
and learn a lot of grace, a lot of forgiveness.
Yep.
and so much about, we both quote constantly, we'll probably say it 3 or 4 times, the great Tim Keller, quote about, God's idea of marriage is so much more about making us holy than happy.
Yeah.
And that really is, we don't the music, that we get fed pretty much from birth of, relationship, love songs, all of those, the movies, they all present this idea that, marriage and relationship, romance, it's just ultimately you complete me.
Right.
And, and you do. And she has, but completing is
like
not the
thorn,
process.
thorn in his
it's not the process that you think it is necessarily of completion. It's a lot more of what God has in mind with it is amazing and beautiful. But it's also, working out things in us and that God is committed to doing. And that has for sure been our journey and our story. And the reason why we resisted, as you read in the book, writing a book for so many years, because people, heard me sing I Will Be Here. They've heard me talk about Mary Beth from the very beginning of my first time I stood on stage as Stephen Curtis Chapman. I mean, I've been singing on stage since I was a kid in some form, but, telling about our marriage, sharing, and I Will Be Here was a song that was kind of a staple early on in my career because it was on my, I guess, third album and written out of my own mom and dad's journey through divorce and the heartache that was for us and for me, and wrote that song for her. It's just, this is my commitment to you. And as God is, as our help and our witness, this is what we want to honor in our journey together. Whatever happens with the rest of it in life and career and all that, I really want this to be the anchor of other than my relationship with Jesus to be what God wants it to be with my wife. And so that song has been a big, part of our journey. But we always knew when people heard that song, they would say, you should write a book. Look, you wrote the consummate, the ultimate wedding song for the 90s. You got to surely have it figured out. And we're like, no, we surely don't. And we can tell you a lot of things not to do, but as far as really sharing, the 7 highly effective, habits of, well-married people or the love languages or the whatever. There are plenty of those books and they're great. Yeah. And we flunk at pretty much every one of them. When we read them, we're like, well, screwed that up. Well, blew that. So it's like, we don't have any business writing a book about that until we realized, well, we are still here. And that's been the grace of God. And we could share that.
Yeah. Something I love in the book is you talk about losing to win. Like sometimes you have to give things up that you hold tightly to because you're bearing with each other in love. Like you can't have every single thing about the person that you're married to be exactly what you hope. So sometimes you got to lose some of those things. Sometimes you have to lose parts of you that you thought, oh, this will be part of me forever, but then it's actually better the other way. I just felt like that was a really interesting take. And I've thought about that so many times. My husband is so much more easygoing and breezy and just like, it'll work out. And I'm very much like you, where I'm like, I need a plan. I need 5 steps. I need to know when we're going to do it. And he's like, it'll get done. I'm like, by me, because I'm going to do it. But I was thinking about being married to him. Like I have in 6 years, even just noticed I have looked at things a little differently. And I have like realized, oh, it's not the end of the world if tomorrow's not fully planned. It actually does usually end up okay. I just thought that was a sweet take of sometimes marriage is about losing to win together. That was really sweet of you guys. I can't remember what the example was that you gave, but something about your house and cleaning or something.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's that's right up there.
Pages upon pages of life of losing to win and dying to win and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this just in, 2 sinners get married. I mean, for some reason we've been conditioned to think, the wedding's beautiful, all the parties are beautiful, everything's going to go great. It's it's the beautiful, like Steve said, the beautiful songs, all of that. And why do we kid ourselves to know that 2 very, sinful people are getting married and I want it my way, I want it my way. He wants it his way. And and
throw and just for fun, let's throw a cosmic enemy in the middle of it. The fact that there is an enemy to everything that's good and beautiful and reflects the beauty of God's heart. And okay, so marriage is the quintessential kind of picture of our relationship as the bride of Christ and all of that. So do you think that's not going to have some attacks from the enemy of, all things good? And so you throw that into the equation, and it's like, wow, this was not in the color brochure. That I got.
And you just at the end of the day, I am so grateful. I'm a complicated, can be a very hard-headed woman. He's going over there. Amen. No.
But he looks at the camera and says,
but the Lord knew exactly the person that needed to come into my life to help expose some of that, help walk alongside of some of that, help be the one that I can, push against. And he's there. And hopefully he's, likewise.
Yes.
And just to, to remember that, but we don't, we forget. And then, we, can momentarily think you're my enemy, not the real enemy.
Yes. Oh boy. Yeah.
And I think too, like you mentioned this earlier, of just the world tells us that marriage should make us happy. And as soon as something doesn't make you happy, or as soon as it doesn't serve you anymore, you should get out of there and choose yourself or whatever the narrative is.
Be your best you.
Be your best you. Leave things that don't serve you. I just think that mindset is so dangerous. And I feel like seeing marriage as something that makes us holy, it sanctifies us, changes that perspective so much. Something else you said in the book was, saying you're not the woman I married or you're not the man I married is actually true because life does change you and you go through things that are hard and you don't walk out the other side of things the same as you were before. But it's falling in love with that person in a new way, in a new season as they're changing. And I thought that was really sweet. And I feel like that culminates in the image that you spell out of the perfect couple on the park bench. Will you talk about that image and just what you've learned about it?
It was a counseling, one of our early counseling sessions, I guess, with a friend and a guy who, I think he actually was one that fired us at some point and said, I think I'm done with you guys because I can't I've given you all I got and you're still a mess. And it's like, I've done all I can do here. My work is done here. But he was talking to us at some point because I think there is certainly a part of me, the fixer. In fact, there's a song I wrote, Unfixables, on my last record that I did because that idea of there's just, I'm so determined to try to fix. If you just give me the plan, give me the workbook, and I know I'm a slow learner, but I'm determined to try to figure it out and fix it.
Yeah.
And so many things are just not fixable.
Yeah.
This side of heaven, and you're gonna struggle with it and strive, to try to make it right. And I think that in this whole journey between the two of us trying to fix each other, and then even fix ourselves, and recognize that we are works in progress, and that's why we are going to have to bear with one another, which we keep coming back to as kind of our ultimate thing that we, as if there's a secret, when people say what's the secret,
right.
It's recognizing that we are in process, that some of these things are going to be broken until heaven. Can we trust God's grace to be enough for us in that journey and in that process?
Yeah. And I think too, just when you look at someone who's been together so long and you're like, man, I want exactly what they have. They look so happy. There's not a care in the world. And then realizing that every couple has those things just under the surface,
right.
hot button issues, things that, you could always bring up and it would start an argument. Like every couple has that. Yeah. But the difference between a couple that gives up and a couple that stays together is just the choice to stay together.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you happy and gives freedom. And so that I feel like is a big takeaway from the book for me, is just that perfect couple on the park bench. It doesn't actually exist, but it's just that they have chosen to be there.
Yeah.
I thought that was really sweet as well.
Yeah, they always fade at the end of that scene. The movie ends there. And I remember so many times I'm like, that's so unfair because, once the camera fades and they're sitting there hand in hand on the park bench, holding hands, that old couple, then, the scene fades. But they got to get up and go home and figure out, wait a minute, you forgot to, wait, did you take care of that? And then it's going to be, and that was the point of that story. That was, I think, so powerful for us was, this wise voice in our lives at the time, counselor, that said, if you really could spend a little time with that couple on the park bench that looks so perfect in that movie scene or in your mind, they've made a choice to still be sitting there, and they've made some choices to decide that they're going to bear with each other through some things, and that means carrying a weight of disappointment, hurt, frustration.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do with that? Am I going to keep demanding that I have to have it my way, or am I going to be able to say, you know what, for the greater good of what we believe is most important for this, relationship, I'm going to bear with that. And even in that bearing with, then God's going to be doing things in our life, in our heart, individually, that, sanctifying and at work, which is so much fun. We love that.
We love being sanctified.
We love the sanctification process. Just so much fun.
Another huge just pillar of your book is the idea of grace and how we give grace, we receive grace from God, but also each other in marriage. Will you just talk about grace and how that's played a part in your marriage together?
Where do you
begin? There's been need for much grace, certainly in what we were just talking about. Also, we always mention, there are times that, you shouldn't stay. I mean, we're not, I just want to put the caveat in there that we're not, we're not advocating for someone to stay in a dangerous situation, but
yes, of course.
But as far as grace in our relationship, as far as how we've wounded each other, how we've, you're just not getting me. We had one of those situations on the way down here. I was not happy with this man.
Why is it always on the way to something? It happens to us too.
I can guarantee you.
Great time.
He goes, I sense you're frustrated. I said, I am. I'm frustrated.
So glad you asked
frustrated. I am frustrated. But we're working on it, right? And just much grace needs to be given, because a lot of times we don't. We see what we want to see, and we don't realize that they've also done this over here. And so, like, we want to be quick to say, you didn't hear me, you missed me, blah 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 blah, and then inevitably it's like, well, yeah, I did, because this over here. So we're learning and taking 2 steps forward, 10 steps back on what it looks like to shower with grace first, and understand that there's probably a full explanation before all the frustration begins.
Yeah, I think, we said, I think you've already said it once, and I have too. It's, and we were really probably pretty reticent. It's the reason why it took us so long to write a book, is that, when people would say, man, what are the secrets? What are the keys? What are the, because there's so many great books, and, we've read a lot of them, and we always get really frustrated because we feel like we've kind of failed on every page. It's like I'm 20 pages in and I've already flunked, I think, every, little test at the end.
Let's just go to a movie. Let's just go to a movie.
Like, can we just go to a movie? We were in a conference, in a marriage conference early in our marriage. Like, we need to go to this marriage conference,
we just
and we're going to
go
get
to a movie.
fixed, because that's me. I'm the fixer. So I'm like, we'll go get fixed. I'll learn all the things I'm doing wrong and need to do better. And you'll learn all the things you're doing wrong and need to do better. And we're just sitting there, and it was like we were in the first hour, I think, of it, and it was kind of going.
Well, and the first problem was
we don't
everything that they said about the guy was like me, and everything they said about the girl was like him, and then there's that.
Yeah,
and
it's like
it's
it was
just
all,
I'm like.
Yeah,
I have a headache. Can we just go to a movie and dinner?
Can we just just
like,
kind of
forget all of this,
space all it, forget all this.
And
this
it's
is
not
hard
that
enough.
those things are not good and not important, and constantly trying to feed your mind with really helpful. I mean, God has gifted so many people with so much wisdom, but we're not them. We are, by grace and by a lot of determination to stay in it. Still in it.
Yeah.
And our children say that we hobble well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That was a Caleb.
What a great.
That's a
son Caleb said,
Yes.
well, that's because they've seen us need a lot of grace and bear with one another in love. And that's kind of, we're like, we really could have written this book maybe in one page. If you want to just get the answer, from the Chapmans. What's the the one highly effective habit, key, love language, whatever, it's this: bear with each other in love.
Yeah.
Love bears all things. And that carries with it, we always say, this weight of, bearing with, carrying disappointment, hurt, frustration. You're not hearing me. You're not, meeting the need, or whatever. But that's also what we've been invited into in a relationship with that model that is our closest that we'll ever get on this side of heaven to what our relationship, is with God and as the bride of Christ and all of that. And so there's so much cosmic, stuff going on around a marriage. It's going to require, we're fighting a real enemy that is not playing fair at any level. And we're not the enemy. But sometimes we sure can feel that way and look that way. And so all of that seems to come back to this idea of just the grace that we have received. We have an endless supply of that. Thank Jesus. And therefore, from that well that does not run dry, if we keep returning to that, we can have grace for each other. And that's the only reason we're still sitting here on this couch beside each other.
And you just look so happy and cozy on this couch. So, I love it. Seriously, people listening, you need to read Still Here. It's so good. So this podcast is called In the Middle of It. What are some things that you're in the middle of right now in your life? Like I know your grandparents and
oh man, we are in the middle of that. We are, people usually get really frustrated when we say this because all of our children live within 4 miles of us. So
I love it.
It's, obviously our boys are in music, so they stayed. Our daughter stayed, married a Franklin boy, and so she's here. And then our 2 youngest are back from college, so they're both here. And so all 7 of our grandbabies live like within spitting different distance. And so we're in the middle of that. That's a lot of action happening around.
Sure.
We call it Camp Grammy.
That's right.
Yeah,
She wanted to build Camp Grammy when we
and
built our house,
so,
and we did.
And
some days.
We want to close Camp Grammy. No,
Can we close Camp Grammy?
Can we close it? We're tired.
We're out for lunch.
Closed for repairs or
My
rest.
mom will nod her head as she's listening to this.
Well,
she's like, Monday is over.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Our grandbabies are now 14 down to, all of them are 4, except for one. All of them are 14 down to 7. There's 6 of them. So boom, 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 boom. And then we call then there's a 2-year-old who we call the mascot. The caboose. The mascot, Jack.
That's so sweet.
And so there, it's a lot of energy. We call it the Chapman energy happening. And so we're in the middle of that. We're in the middle of trying to figure out what slowing down looks like. We don't slow down very well. We don't do that well. But I'm getting
trying to learn,
trying to learn how to
figure it out.
do some things a little differently, a little more intentional, trying to travel with him a little bit now that I can. Trying to figure out all things in the middle of Show Hope. We help a lot of families with adoptions and
so cool.
and their journey that they're on with raising kiddos from different places, and so just in the middle of still trying to. He's just trying to figure out music, what's next, there, and so all of the things.
Yeah, it's enjoying the season that we are in. Because it's an amazing, beautiful season. It's change. There's change, for sure going on.
Yeah.
And trying to navigate that and, accept and be really good with it and trust God with it, but also know that you still have wind in the sails and, gas in the tank, as they say, for things that matter most. And, that's really our prayer and hope. And doing this book was kind of part of us. We again resisted because we want to pass on the hard fought for wisdom that God has given us, and in hopes that will encourage people. But you've done a lot of different things. There are amazing opportunities always around us in this world that's broken and needs truth and hope spoken into it, and songs sung and good things done with Show Hope and all of those things. But then how do we steward this season of life in a way that just am able to rest and, enjoy this season, but still be about the things that we feel like God has given us the opportunity to do. So we're just trying to
figure it out.
Figure that out together.
Yeah. You just did a song with one of our very best friends, Caleb from Caleb and John. He was the best man in our wedding.
Are you serious?
He is my husband's very best friend of all
No
friends.
way.
Yes. And my husband was the best man in his wedding as well. And so he was so excited to do that song with you. He called Jason. He was like, "You're never going to guess who's doing a song with us. Stephen Curtis Chapman." Because you are his hero. Like, I'm sure he told you, but just like from the time we met Caleb when we were in college, and he had this long ponytail, and he was coming fresh from I don't know where, I think Florida or something. He was like, "I want to be Stephen Curtis Chapman." Like, he just was so determined.
Sweet.
And anyways,
so
I
cool.
love the song that you did with them, and just so sweet. I was like, man, that is such an answer to prayer for him. And I love that Stephen Curtis Chapman is still doing featers with the youngins. You know,
I know.
you're
How
in there
fun
writing
is
the
that?
cool songs.
I'm like,
it
well,
was just
if you
so
guys,
fun.
there's a lot cooler, hipper, younger, snazzier people you could do this with. But
No
I was
way.
very honored that they that they asked me, and they're just the sweetest guys. Both those guys, I
They're
love
so
the time
great.
I spent with them, and then we got to do the Opry together. I got to bring them out and do that song we wrote together, and then get to invite them to come do their own debut night on the Opry, which I think they're still trying to figure out a time, because I want to be there for that too.
Yeah.
It was really sweet seeing their
So-
families.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just,
goodness.
I think his dad and mom had come,
Yes.
and just really sweet
His
meeting
parents
those,
are so
those guys.
sweet and
Yeah.
precious. And oh my
Precious.
goodness, just so cool. So cool to get to be at a point in your career where you can kind of lend your voice and like just your legacy to younger artists and kind of help show them the way. Like, that's a really cool place for you to be in, I feel like.
That is a sweet season. I feel like Mary Beth referenced it earlier with the Opry, and
Just
kind of
kind
being
of a
a sort of a
Yeah.
mentor. I was talking to an Opry brother today for a little bit, and we're working on some music, and he's country guy, but has a heart to do Christian music, gospel music, and so we've been writing some songs, and that has been a sweet season for me, and even for us. I think inadvertently it's part of why my wife felt so passionately maybe about me, being a member of that community, because as it's sort of unfolded, it's a whole lot more about just the relationships that I get to be involved in, aside. I mean, there's music kind of woven
And
in
just
and out of
loving
it, but just
people.
loving on the
Yeah.
people there. And I mean, gosh, praying for George Gruen. I mean, Gruen Guitars, he's there almost every time, and just getting to tell him I'm praying for him, and, things like that I never would have imagined the opportunity to just be around and be with those folks. And so it's been a sweet gift.
Very cool. Well, to end the podcast, we're going to end with a little game.
All right.
Indulge me on
Oh
one
boy,
more
my
game.
wife loves games. She's better at games than I am.
Okay, so I have this wheel.
Ooh, the
Oh,
wheel.
One of
wheel.
you, whichever one you want, is going to spin it. It's going to land on a topic, and we're going to talk about it for like 3 minutes to end the podcast.
All right. Okay. You spin away, my love. Let's see if how did it go?
You tell me what it lands on.
Childhood memory.
memory.
It's kind of, It's you know what though? If you look at it from this angle, it is absolutely not.
Oh, you guys,
Look,
if you'll
you
do
come-
absolutely
it
not.
looks from here.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
well,
Okay,
oh, boy.
absolutely not
Look,
is
see?
an anti-bucket list item. It's the
It's like,
Anti-bucket list?
right on the verge. See
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
know what
So,
Steve's
okay,
anti-bucket list
what is.
is.
It?
what is your absolutely not
my
of
absolutely
life?
not? Ooh, this is like the not so newlywed game. You answer for me,
Ooh,
and then
you
I'll
answer
tell
for
you
me.
if
Answer
it's
for you.
true.
His absolutely not is he will not ever do anything that requires heights.
That's
Okay.
exactly what I was thinking. yes.
He is not.
I am-
He is not going
I
to go
am
to the top of the Eiffel Tower. He
not
is
hype
not going
guy.
to jump out of an airplane for sure. You're
Wow.
not going to.
No,
I'm
thank
sweating
you.
right
Yes.
now.
And
just talking
even
about-
you know how you start talking about stuff and it shows up in your algorithm.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
he starts because he'll talk about it, then he starts getting these crazy videos
Okay.
of people walking on top of mountains.
Okay,
and
the
stuff.
couple. Okay, the couple
On top
who
of the
got
Empire
engaged
State-
on the
oh,
Empire
yeah.
State
Oh,
Building.
yeah.
Why do I know about that? So I'll have nightmares about it. That's why. That's the only reason why.
stand
Because
So I
it
can't
shows
sleep
up
at
on my
night.
phone. I pick my phone up and it's like, I don't want to see that. Now I can't sleep. So it is so weird. I do have
Yeah,
a
what's
kind of
mine?
a freak. I just do not like heights,
Yeah.
and it's getting not better as I
it's
get
not
older.
getting better.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Netflix special of the guy who free
Yes.
soloed on the side of a building?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, my palms were
Oh.
so
And then
I
you're
know.
just like,
I'm
why?
Why did I?
Why?
Why
He's
did
got
he
a
do
wife
it?
and
And
kids
then
at
now
home.
why am
He
I
has a-
watching it?
yes.
Why am
Why
I
are
even
you-
watching this? Yes. So my wife's absolutely not are snakes.
I will.
Okay.
She absolutely. She won't even walk in the reptile.
Yeah,
where they're
no.
all behind like
Yep,
the
in the
cages
zoo.
at the
You
zoo.
never know.
You know,
You
you
never
never
know.
know.
No.
One got out. She's
And
convinced
here's the
of
weird
it.
thing: I can do turtles. I can do lizards.
Yeah.
I can do things with legs stuck on
There's
them.
did
other
Man,
reptiles.
If
But
it's a
It's those
and it doesn't matter.
sneaky
These
snakes.
I'm sorry, snake lovers, but when you go, don't kill it. It's a good one. I'm like, no, there
No.
are no.
The only good
the only
snake
good
is
snake.
a-
Say it with me. Is a dead snake.
We're gonna
We are
have
going to get hate mail now.
Rita or whoever's
Yeah,
going to be coming
no.
after you now. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
whatever.
man.
Rita.
It's like
Is that
a
reptiles?
it's a thing.
I don't know.
It's a
Is there
real
something?
it's a real thing. Like I get like
She does.
Like,
yes.
yeah.
Her-
Heebie-jeebies.
well,
Yes.
that's how I explained heights. So this is a fun story.
it's a definite
We're over our
phobia
3 minutes
thing.
though, probably.
Yeah.
No,
But
you're
we
doing
were-
great.
We did a cruise that we hosted, but before we did it, they took us on kind of we're going to explore it and see all the things about it so you can talk about it. So, and then we'll invite people to come join us on an Alaskan
Yes.
cruise. And they have a thing that all I can remember it was called it was the Wheel of Death. No, it was the
you
Death
called it
Star.
the
The
Wheel
Death
of
Star.
No, it was not
Yeah,
that. It's
it was
not
called
that-
the Death Star. They call it the
wasn't
North Star,
the
but it was
North
actually
Star,
the
and
Death
it
Star.
rises up
And-
over the cruise ship and kind of goes out over the
It's
ocean.
like it's like a
and you
glass
look around,
ball,
it's a glass,
and you're in it, and it rises up, and you're supposed
The
to just
Death
enjoy
Star.
this
and
beautiful
they're shooting
view
all the promo
as
for
it
the
goes.
cruise from it, and
Yeah.
you locked
And
up.
and they said, hey, we want to get you on this. They're going to give you a free ride. Go up and it's just as a cruise ship is
free
going,
ride.
and they're gonna
course it
drift
was
you
free.
out over
You
the
were
water. Well, you normally have to pay extra
you
for
were
it.
doing a
Yes, I
thing.
know, but you
We're like, were
normally
gonna
have
give
to
you a
pay
free
extra.
ride.
If you're on the cruise, it's not free. You have to like pay an
It's an
extra. It's
excursion.
an upcharge. That's why they wanted us to do it because they wanted to upsell the deal. Okay, sorry, but it's just the truth. Hurts. So they were trying to get us to do this thing, and my wife's over there like, "Oh, sure, this will be fun."
This will
And
be
then our
great for
friends
Steven.
with us, Jeff and
Our
Jan
friends,
Moore, were
yeah.
like, "Yeah, this will be fun."
I'm
and I'm
jumping
over there
up and
going,
down in
"This
it,
will
and
be
he is
not
just
fun,
like,
not fun, not fun, not fun."
Oh,
not.
So we get in this
Oh,
little
you
glass
had- was it
bubble
bad?
and it raises up and then it goes out over the water. And it's not even that high, but it's high enough to be
I would
high.
not like that
And
either.
So I'm in this thing and I'm just, I've death grip on the bar and they're all like,
not
cameras. Like,
I'm like-
isn't this awesome? Encourage people. They want to come do this.
Encourage
And she
people.
looks over at me and there is a tear, literally.
Yeah, he was. It was bad.
And I, because I'm
It's really
feeling
making me
so
feel bad
embarrassed.
to laugh because it
Yeah,
was,
see,
it was not
this isn't. She's laughing.
good.
I'm crying. She's
At
laughing.
the time, it was not. I was like,
We need counseling.
oh no,
We need a counselor.
Like he's
Is there a
really,
counselor?
really upset.
Yeah, and I finally just said to her, I am trying so hard because there's a camera to not show the absolute terror that's going on in my
Aw.
mind, in my heart right now. And I know it's
heartbeat.
unreasonable. I know this thing's not going to fall. I can tell myself all those things.
Right.
But I said, imagine for just a moment that very harmless, completely innocent little nice snakes were released in here on the floor
Yep.
and just kind of a few of them slithering around and everybody's going, there's no way those snakes will bite you. They're not the biting kind. They're just
Mm-hmm.
here to hang out. I said, how would you be doing right now? And she was like, I completely get it. Thank
Aw,
you.
yeah.
And she understood.
Yep.
And I said, that's it. It's not reasonable, but it is real. So
Wow.
there you go.
Yeah,
Those are
there
your
you
absolutely nots. I love
go.
it.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Do
So
thank-
not.
absolutely not the glass ball on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Ever again.
Good to know. Thank you guys so much for doing this. It is so sweet to just sit with you and hear your wisdom and what you're in the middle of. And I'm just so grateful. So thank you for being part of this today.
Thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
us.
Thank you,
Hannah.
Hannah, so much.
Awesome.